Hello and welcome to another Banana Loaf tutorial. This one is on a sound that I don't really know how to describe, and it's this one. Now this sound was my not particularly successful attempt to recreate these two sounds. So one of them is the sound of the Strider from Half-Life 2 dying. That sort of thing. And a much better one is about halfway through Distal by Tipper, which is one of my favourite songs, and you should definitely go and listen to it because it's very good. Anyway, and it's this one, you'll hear it quite obviously. So that's basically what I was trying to do, and it didn't really work, but you can kind of see where I'm coming from. Anyway, let's close all of that BS and get cracking. So basically all it is it's just two operators RM'd together, and that's literally all there is to it. So you can see the first one is like slightly between saw and square. What the hell is it? Oh, no, don't worry. Declicked, band limited, Gibbs off. I make a habit of doing that even if it doesn't make any sense really in this case. It doesn't really make that much difference. Operator 2 is just a square wave, slightly pulse, so like slightly towards the sort of short end, so it's like not quite exactly square. And at a strange frequency, presumably just to mess it up and make it sound rough and odd and like kind of harsh and annoying. So it adds a certain sort of kind of low roughness to it because it's an octave down. But it's not quite right, so it makes it sort of. I don't think this operator plays directly. It's used purely to RM operator 1, and that is it. There's no modulation on the. There's no like FM modulation or anything like that. FM modulation, frequency modulation, ATM machine. Anyway, there is a pitch envelope on operator 1. But in this, for whatever reason, I didn't turn global pitch on. So this pitch envelope only applies to operator 1 and not operator 2. So not the whole sound, just operator 1. Which kind of makes sense, seeing as you don't actually hear operator 2 directly. It kind of creates a weird attack. Other than that, and the unison, that's all there is to it. So I don't know if I really changed the unison settings that much, other than cranking the order right up to 9, the max, turning up pan, pitch, phase, those are the important ones. Right, beyond that, the effects don't really matter too much to the sound, and they're fairly obvious to hear anyway. That is the main bulk of the sound, and all of it comes really from just slide notes. Right, I messed the video up a little there, but never mind. Let's take a look at the effects. The first one is an EQ, purely to make it sort of evolve a bit as it plays. So if I solo it, get rid of every effect except that, including that incredibly annoying delay, and just play what the EQ is doing. So it's pretty self-explanatory, it's just a big old notch, which is automated. Just to give it some evolution over time, a little bit of interest. And then a fruity send to make it fade in. Deliberately put before all of the effects like reverb and dimension expander and so on, which affect how it sounds for a sort of a long time. But after effects like EQ, distortion if I had any, and so on, which don't affect it for a long time, which affect it only for as long as it lasts, if you know what I mean. Whereas ambience adds a big load of tail on the end, so I put that after the fruity send so it's not affected. And that is because it comes in like a big brick wall and makes you go, what the hell was that, if you don't have it fading in slowly. So without that, it's kind of irritating, so you turn it on so it fades in a bit more gently. Where is it again? I have lost it. Oh dear. Right. Ambience, relatively self-explanatory. It's just a huge, great bit. Oh, maybe not that huge actually. Well, it's a relatively moderate reverb which fades in as it plays. So it sort of starts off normal and gets more and more intense as it goes. So there's supposed to be a huge, great big long reverby tail which comes in at the end. But it seems that the reverb wasn't that long. Fairly self-explanatory. Dimension expander. Not automated or anything like that. And then a fruity delay. Which, because it's automated, doesn't play throughout most of the sound and only really starts once the sound is over. Which is kind of like what it's like in the examples I showed you, especially the tipper one. It's sort of, it's just like, it's sort of normal. And then only at the woo part at the end does the reverb come in. It's like whoosh, and you get a huge, great big tail afterwards. And that's what I was trying to imitate. But anyway, that just about does it for that. And I will see you in the next one.